Hello and welcome, guys, to a brand new series on the channel, on D&D Films 12 channel. We are doing movie reviews, and this week we are going to do a movie review on the movie Why Him, starring Bryan Cranston, James Franco, and Zoe Deutsch. Now, alongside with me here, we have Dustin.
How's it going, guys?
And we have Jerod.
Howdy.
And I'm Dillan, and we're going to get started on this review. So, it's open, guys.
Great. I'll start off by saying I've been looking forward to this movie. It's just that it kind of snuck up on me by the time it actually came out. So I was like, oh wow, that's in theaters when I was kind of looking through movies. And I was going into this movie with high hopes, and I think it delivered on most of those things. I guess.
Well, I guess for me, what I expected with it was kind of one of those like disposable January comedies, you know, like a movie where you don't have to think too hard about it, and you just kind of go there, enjoy the movie, and that's it. You know, nothing deeper or anything further than that. And it was for the most part, it was exactly that. But it was surprisingly a lot funnier than a lot of the new like raunchy comedies that come out.
Right.
Because I mean, it has a hard R rating for sure. Yeah. It has a very hard R rating, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't too much for me, I don't think.
For being R, I was expecting to see a lot more nudity, so I was kind of glad that there wasn't, because it's true. It's an easier movie to recommend because of that. Because I don't know, it's so hard to recommend a movie when you see
when it's got really uncomfortable nudity.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning there, I was a little worried, but it mellowed out pretty quick.
Yeah, true. No, yeah. Butts are okay. It's just when you get into the other stuff. But yeah.
No, I was excited for this movie just because it had James Franco and Bryan Cranston. I like both those guys for their comedy and actually serious roles too.
Right, yeah. Like Bryan Cranston's been in a lot of serious stuff, like Breaking Bad and Godzilla reboot, and stuff like that. And so it was nice to see him in a lighthearted movie where he could be just a hardcore dad, but with a comic relief to it.
Oh, definitely. I liked him in How I Met Your Mother too, because he's always doing the comic reliefs too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then James Franco, obviously, he's got The Interview and other comedies. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys noticed this or not, but to me, I got a real Robert De Niro Meet the Fockers kind of take from Bryan Cranston in this movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I got that vibe big time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar idea where
it's a similar
you're introducing
concept.
a new boyfriend or whatever, the family member, and having to accept that. It's kind of a similar thing. I just think that this movie did it a little bit differently. I wouldn't necessarily say better, but it was
modern, I think.
More modern comedy for sure. It wasn't so much of the slapstick, people falling off the roof of a house kind of humor. You know what I mean?
Which, ironically, Meet the Fockers was initially a modern film too, because he had the male nurse, which wasn't quite accepted even by the dad, and that's why it was kind of funny at the time.
Yeah.
And his name itself too.
Oh yeah. But for me, I guess this movie, one of the things that I really, really liked about it, I honestly think James Franco's performance for me was the best out of all of them. I mean, his character, he says what everybody's thinking,
Right.
It just, there's nothing there. He just straight up goes, as they say, no filter. He's got exactly that.
Yeah,
and
no filter.
And it was just,
honest.
it was just very refreshing to see.
But you also got to say is James Franco's roles lately have been nothing but a guy like this also.
True.
The last thing you've ever seen him serious in was 127 Hours.
Yeah, or even the Spider-Man movies, he was serious in those too.
Yeah, I kind of forgot he was even in that. Yeah,
yeah, he's my favorite Harry Osborn to this day.
Harry Osborn.
One thing that I really was digging about this movie is the fact that they actually had really good character development for a comedy movie. You don't see that a lot with comedy movies. You see a lot of helpless, kind of story-driven characters that are just there for the sake of moving the story along.
Right.
This movie in particular, one relationship I can think of is the relationship between James Franco's character and then the son. I think his name was
Scotty.
Scotty, yeah.
Yep.
Their relationship was so awesome to me because I mean, like James Franco's character was just a guy that you can say anything to or whatever, and he's not going to judge you. He'll just agree with you, basically.
Yeah,
he just go for it, And then also I wanted to point out too that the relationship, like the actual movie relationship between Franco and Deutsch, their characters, it felt real to me. It didn't feel forced or anything like that for, just to, let's make a comedy movie and these two are just going to be in love with each other just because, and I felt like their relationship felt real to me, like it felt believable, and when they it wasn't just
Seemed
Right.
like they could have been actually in a relationship. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
just written.
it didn't feel like a movie relationship. It felt pretty real.
Right.
One thing I thought was a little, it's not really cheesy because the acting was done well. Like the son, initially in the movie, he was almost mimicking his dad. And I think it was part of the way the character was written too. But he was mimicking his dad, called him the Big Cheese, had nicknames, had a great relationship with his dad. And throughout the movie, it slowly shifted towards a better relationship with James Franco's character.
Right.
Which, I mean, from the dad's perspective, seemed like a polar opposite. Like,
Right.
how dare you? You're betraying me. But, I mean, kind of from the big picture, like, they even mentioned in the movie, Bryan Cranston and James Franco's characters are actually kind of similar in many aspects.
Yeah,
Which is kind of interesting when you start
brings the whole movie
analyzing
full
it, but-
circle.
Right.
You know?
So the son really didn't shift that far. It was just kind of a old-fashioned versus a modern.
Yeah. Their
Yep.
filters is different, but the
Yeah,
way
exactly.
they think is relatively the same.
Yep.
So, but it has a good payoff, and it doesn't actually like end like most of them when they're actually getting married in the thing, or when James Franco's character proposes.
They took it
They
that
actually,
one.
yeah, that one extra step and said no.
Yeah, which made you feel for the character, too.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Oh, definitely. And I think it created a stronger bond even between Cranston and Franco in the
Oh,
movie
yeah.
because of that.
Right.
Because he had finally accepted him, and then he was almost finding himself a little bit disappointed that he wasn't.
Yeah, all the
That
way
he
up
was-
to that point, he was like, "Oh, she's not going to say yes," and then James Franco kept saying, "No, I think she will." And then when
Right.
it got to the point, James got shut down, and Bryan Cranston was just
He was right.
surprised.
He was
shocked.
right.
Yeah, I think a good portion of most of, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but they had a couple of moments where they like slid in information in there that kind of threw over my head originally, but then I kind of reverted back to what they said. And one of those moments was towards the end where he was when Bryan Cranston's character was talking to his daughter Zoe, and he was saying that he was planning on propose to him, or James Franco's character was planning on proposing, and she was like, "Oh, that's why you were all crazy for the whole
Mhm.
weekend."
Yeah,
You know, most people I wouldn't think kind of probably would have caught that because it was like a really fast thing they threw at the end of that, and then like it skipped to her going outside
Yeah.
to James Franco and stuff like that. And I kind of enjoyed that because I'm like, oh, at least she understood that he knew that information, and so that was floating around in his head as he was seeing all these things wrong with James Franco.
yeah.
and-
So she's not
and-
hating her dad as much. She's understanding why he was acting so crazy the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And then you got Keegan Michael Key in this movie, and
I liked his part.
I really liked him. He's still just Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah.
And it's always great. And I mean, I don't know. I still like him. I don't know. What do you guys think?
James' best friend in the movie, and you can tell they actually get along pretty well in real
Oh, I'm
life.
sure
Just-
they do.
yeah.
Yeah, they.
He's like Jordan Peele and Keegan Michael Key. They all play those roles because they can do impressions so well.
Yeah.
that they can be any kind of character. So they're always that I would say disposable characters you can throw in a film because they can do so many accents that you can keep in there. But it's like really good to have in there. And I don't know. So I like them for that reason. But like I've watched the show Key and Peele. Like I've watched all of it because it's all on Hulu. And I like every one of the characters they've done it in that show. So it's just funny seeing those
Right.
come to life in actual movies and stuff like that. And it just seems kind of funny.
The
'cause
two
you're
of them
like-
are working right now. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really working. And that movie, I mean, shows it perfectly. I thought he was great. I mean, he was a good comic relief. He was also serious. And honestly, in the beginning, I got kind of a weird vibe from him. Like he was kind of
Yeah.
like planning something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kind of a.
Well, yeah,
Like-
he was the all-knowing. Like he knew everything James was doing, but he also knew like how Bryan Cranston would react to it. And he's like,
Right.
"No, you're overdoing it. You need to back off." And
Yeah.
James would be himself and be like, or his character would be, "No, I think I'm doing it right," and then he'd slap him, like literally just slap him in the movie, and like, "No, you're an idiot. Stop it."
Yeah, I think we're all referring to that part where they're in that pantry.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh god, they planning something I didn't know about. But no, it was just
Yeah, and that's the thing. This movie in general has a lot of like. For the first half hour of the movie, it's nonstop laughs. I was dying the whole time. Like I usually go to these movies and like I just saw Office Christmas Party recently,
Right.
and that's like another movie I think in the same category, but it just wasn't quite the same as this one. I had a few chuckles here and there, but it was just a lot of swearing and a lot of but the swearing wasn't used in a funny way like it was in this movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this one, like you reacted more like the parents would. You're like, wow, they're just
Exactly.
he's swearing a lot, and then James's character, like every other word was.
And they
Dropping
called him out.
F-bombs, yeah.
Called them out on his crap. Like,
Yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
like,
Yep.
like it's right. Like, oh, no, sorry.
And I mean, the
God
movie
dang
had
it,
it's awesome. It had that classic cringeworthy moment. They always have cringeworthy moments in those kind of raunchy comedies.
Yeah.
And there's like the moment where Cranston's under the desk and his
yeah.
daughter's getting banged underneath. And then you got
And then when he
His
finds
hacker friends
Yeah, his
asking him to
yeah.
show, and he's like, no, screw up.
I mean, so it had everything you look for in a raunchy comedy. I thought
It wasn't
And-
cheap laughs.
No, it was real. It was pretty genuine,
Yeah.
especially like I said, I am usually pretty rough on these movies. They can, especially coming out in January, it's kind of known as the month of really bad movies.
Yeah.
And this one I thought it did really well for me. So I mean, and then also the AI in that movie played by Kaylee Kalikok or Kolo. I don't know how to say her
Big
last
Bang
name.
Theory.
Big Bang Theory girl,
Yeah.
Kaylee Koloko
Or I was thinking Kukli, but maybe that's not right.
No, it's like
Kukwi?
it's like hot
There
cocoa.
it is.
But there's an extra syllable in there.
Cuckoo.
Ko-
Something like that.
Coco or
Coco? Not sure. Anyways.
Coco.
She plays Penny in Big Bang Theory.
Right,
And
yeah.
she's really funny in that movie too. Like the AI obviously is unrealistically aware.
It's too aware, yeah.
But it's another like kind of gives that movie a little bit of an edge as far as like being unique, I think. You
But
know?
it was funny. It was like Big Brother. It had it was always she was always watching,
Always
but she
listening.
would comment in a way that a normal person would.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't know, she had some feisty attitude, so it was just added to it.
And
It
she
didn't
kind of
take away.
moved some of the plot points around in the movie too, because a lot of the things that happen is because of her all-knowingness, kind of move things along. Because the
Right.
movie I thought
Listening
had
in
good
on-
She could be
pacing.
recording the whole
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and like she did. And,
The movie to me had
gives
really
things
good
away.
pacing. I thought, it wasn't like you get a few good laughs here and then kind of slow for 5-10 minutes, and then a couple good laughs here. I mean, it was like right off the bat, that movie started out just on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
out of the gate, just boom, And then it had one little slowdown moment for me, but it's like kind of the you've had a lot of your humor, now you got to bring it down, make the movie more real.
Make it more
And
serious.
bring it back down to earth, kind of thing. And it, every movie kind of has to have that moment, but I thought they did it really well.
Yeah, otherwise it would have got really stale if it was the same kind of comedy throughout the whole thing.
Well, it would get old.
I was really worried a little. Like I had high hopes for this movie, but also at the same time, I did watch the movie called The Interview that was on Netflix.
Yep.
With Seth Rogen and James Franco,
Franco.
and all he did was like cuss and say things and stuff like that, and it just wasn't funny. Like excessive cussing isn't. So I was worried that James Franco was going to be like that, which is. I had a little thing in the back of my mind saying like, "Oh, this could be a complete disaster of a movie because it's just so much." But no, they made him that character, but they told him to kind of keep it to himself.
Well, I think
which is
like
good,
he
so.
seems like an actor that would learn from his mistakes too. So maybe he took that and learned from it, or
Right.
maybe it's just good writing. I don't know.
Right? Maybe they saw that movie and you're like, "Wow, he swore a lot." In that.
Well,
Let's bring him in here and tell him
makes
to contain himself.
It really makes it more real for me when the other characters in the movie call him out on his excessive swearing, which
Yep.
is what kind of almost validated the swearing for me in a way.
Right?
It
seemed like
Yeah.
less swearing because they were saying
because they were getting on him, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's more realistic in that sense. It wasn't
And
so
the way
out
he was
there.
swearing too, it wasn't just like
Yeah,
F-bomb left and right. It was actually, it had meaning behind it too. He was like,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
just the way his character was
yeah, oh,
interacting with everyone.
And as far as performances, I thought they all were great. I mean, Bryan Cranston always good. James Franco's always good for me. Key's always good, and then Zoe Deutsch. I don't really know her from much else, but I thought she was
I mean,
really good in
she's-
that movie.
I
Yeah.
think this is the first movie I've seen with her in it, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she's got other stuff, and that's
that I'm aware of, where she was a main
Right.
actor. to
But
me,
I mean,
Right, yeah.
I thought they all had pretty good
no,
performances.
they all did great. I think.
She was oh, you didn't see this movie with me, but she was. I knew I recognized her from somewhere, but she was in Dirty Grandpa. She was one of the girls he was Zac Efron was hitting on and ended
Oh, I
up
hadn't
being
seen
with at
Dirty
the
Grandpa.
end.
I was thinking of Bad Grandpa.
Grandpa.
I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah. Yeah, no, that was the. Anyways, but yeah, I knew I recognized her from somewhere, so yeah, that's kind of where I got that
Okay.
from. But so that moose, man, did that moose look pretty fat? That moose
I thought
looked
it-
really fat.
I actually thought it was a real moose that they just put in like a liquid because it was just floating there.
It looked really fat.
Well,
Like, it
but
looked
see-
kind of pregnant.
Well, at first when she mentioned like an art piece off of it, I thought they were talking about the moose, and I'm like, is that a bear with antlers on it? Because
Yeah.
that's what it looked like to
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, no, that's an actual moose.
Well, I feel like because it was a full on like the whole thing, like it had all of its bodily everything in it still.
Yeah,
ball
just,
sack and all.
just being in the tank, So I think it was actually like its bones had kind of deteriorated. It kind of filled out, sucked up some of that
Yep.
urine,
yeah.
and
That was urine in there?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was all moose urine.
it was the moose floating in its own urine. Like that was what the crazy part. And I was saying to Dylan in the theater, I'm like, okay, they would have had to plan
this.
that this thing's gonna die and they're gonna put it in here to collect that much urine from that one moose.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I love the plot, like though, because they had it there and everyone knew it was gonna break and spill
some
all over
point,
the place
Yeah.
in the movie, and it didn't happen when I thought it would, or the way I thought it would, but it ended up doing it.
That's why everybody was freaked out. I'm like, what is it? I'm like, it's got to be something like that. Wow, I feel dumb.
And then I don't even know if I had to say anything, but Kiss. All right,
Kiss was in it.
Kiss was in the movie. Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. It was just like what?
You ever seen these guys live? Which I mean, we've all
seen them live.
It's just they were performing as if it was a live concert, and that was
Right.
exactly like James Franco's character hired these guys to
On Christmas Day.
on Christmas Day to come and just perform for when he proposed to Zoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can never think of the name. I like calling him actor-wise. But yeah, no, yeah, it was pretty good. And then they, like, just walks into the room and everybody's just like,
It's
But
Kiss.
parents are huge
Yeah.
fans, and they just freak out, and they're
Yeah.
just trying to be cool, and mom's even posing.
Yeah, Kiss was a theme, underlying theme throughout the whole movie. That "Made for Loving You" was kind of the theme
Right.
song of this movie. I guess if you had to pick one, I think
Yep.
that would be the song.
It's actually their parents went on the first date, and
Yep.
to a concert.
Did some
of
hand
Kiss.
stuff.
Did some
Hand
hand stuff. They got all handsy.
got a little handsy.
Gene asked what happened.
They looked old though. They did.
Oh, especially Paul. Gene, you
Yeah.
couldn't notice, but Paul, man, he's just droopy.
Well, I just loved during the Christmas party when like Paul's playing the ukulele and
Yeah.
Gene's
Oh,
playing
yeah.
the triangle, and
He
Gene
looks
just
real
looks,
happy about it.
Gene just looks pissed. He's like, but it was just comic, like nothing like a live performance.
Yeah, you just wouldn't think they'd be in a movie anytime soon,
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
it's
Those
kinda
guys
funny.
are decent actors too. I mean, they're just acting like themselves, but
Oh yeah, I mean,
I
it's
was like,
not
I
hard
was
to-
wondering where the other two were. I'm like, where
Yeah.
they're
So, like,
dead.
it's
well,
huh?
those Gene and Paul are the only originals still, so I'm
Yeah.
guessing
Okay.
that's why.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're like, it's Kiss. I'm like, well, it's half a kiss, but
Yeah.
just a peck on the cheek is all it is.
Freely's gone. And
Yeah.
I forget the drummer's name.
Yeah, the cat guy. It's the cat guy.
That's Peter Griffin.
Tim
said.
Nicholson.
No one likes him.
Wasn't his name Peter?
Shit.
I think it was. I think his name was Peter something.
Peter something.
Peter something.
That's his name, Peter something.
Remember that. Kiss's drummer, Peter something.
Peter something.
You're a Kiss fan. See the movie.
That's what.
For
That's,
the
if
5
any-
minutes they're in
Yeah,
it.
if you should take out of anything out of this review, if you like Kiss, just go to the movie. So
I was made for
Well.
loving you, baby. I like that song.
yeah. Anything else that we probably missed?
Goose.
A goose. Hmm.
They ate paper
Edible
in the
paper.
movie.
They did eat paper in the
Edible
movie.
paper.
Edible paper. They were
See, I
wrapping
was
it around their
planning
bear
that.
meat.
When I threw that in my mouth, it wasn't because I was thinking of the
Last
movie.
thing on his list, and he's just like, gotta do it.
They ate paper and wrapped the paper around bear
I
meat.
thought that was interesting. Yeah, everything that they ate was from James Franco's farm or a free-range farm.
Right?
They shot themselves in the foot, though. They said that was a paperless house.
Yeah, they did. They mentioned that in the movie, though.
Oh.
They did mention it in the movie.
Loopholes, baby.
They
They don't
said,
use it for writing or
Yeah.
wiping their asses. They use it to eat.
don't eat too fast, and I'll be full by the funnies. So all in all, we have 3 different ratings in our ratings when we do these. We have the see in theaters rating, we have the get the DVD rating, and the wait for Netflix. So let's start with you. What are you rating this one?
I'm saying see in theaters because, it's a good laugh. Like, there wasn't I would go see it again in a heartbeat. And I'm sure I would laugh at the same jokes again. You know, I don't know. It's one of those movies that I could watch over and over again and probably get some kind of a chuckle out of it. So, yeah.
How about you, Jerod?
Well, I mean, I did go see it in theaters, but I would definitely go again if the opportunity presents itself. But I'd definitely watch it on Netflix too. I'm not saying it's a bad movie that I'd wait to Netflix, but I'd rate it as go to the theaters.
Right.
Yeah, I think I mean, I'm kind of on the fence because you know, it's a movie that you can watch in all three platforms, but honestly, if someone that hadn't seen the movie yet asked me if I wanted to go to that movie, I wouldn't even be like, I've already seen it, I'd just go. So I'm gonna probably give it a see in theaters also. I thought it was a pretty solid, good comedy to start off 2017 with.
Oh yeah.
So far, hands down, best comedy of the year.
Oh yeah. Totally.
It's in the running.
It's in the running. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for making it this far in the video. If you did, go ahead and comment down below the name of the movie, why him, so we know that you made it to the end of the video. And as always, leave a like if you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next movie review. See you guys.